synapses in the internet underground. Everyone knows who I am. The world is my chessboard and war is the tool of the game. Don't hate me, I'm just a messenger. Say what you want about me, but I speak the truth. The truth, the truth. Fuck you. Fuck yeah. Punks.
What's going on, folks? And thank you for tuning in with me to another edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me on this final True Capitalist Radio of the year of 2024. This is episode number 731, episode 731 for all the folks that are keeping track of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And before we get into anything else, I'd like to ask everybody to please spread this show across the internets and throughout the world. And let everybody let them all know that the True Capitalist Radio broadcast is in effect and in the house. Once again, episode number 731 for all the folks that are keeping track of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And I want to say cheers to everybody out there who is listening. If you haven't done so, please spread this show across the internets and throughout the world. And let everybody let them all know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect. All right? With that being said, I already got some rumble rants here from some people. And I've got Devious Dave, who said I'm at half-mast for Jimmy Carter. We got Five Finger Prostate Punch complaining about me banning him and a couple other people from X. Look, I have no problem with anybody criticizing whatever I'm saying on X. I just certainly do not want to see a bunch of spamming, autistic bullshit. And if you're going to spam at me on X, I'm just going to ignore you, all right? You're going to fill my timeline with the same crap. You don't even need to be posting. I don't even need to be seeing you, all right? So with that being said, everybody who's been banned on X or on my X account are a bunch of spammers. If you had anything original to say, you would not have been ignored, all right? But you don't, because all you can concoct is repetitive autism, and I ain't got time for that, all right? Anyway, Kits does a flip. Jimmy Carter can no longer fly over Devious Dave's house. Yeah, no kidding. Thank you very much. All right. Anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and get this show on the road here, episode 731, and let's talk about the markets. All right. Now, I had told you folks that I am not a buyer in this market whatsoever. And we got Duke Orville beginning the New Year's Eve show, or I should say the last show of the new year of the 2024. Jesus Christ, I'm already wanting to party. Cheers to, once again, Duke Orville with the 10 beers, man. And he said, what did you say, Nick Fuentes? I know that was a parody, but it was funny. I can't believe Nick Fuentes got the AIDS. Of course, that was a parody, but still, it was funny. Wishful thinking, if you say, if I don't say so myself. But put the PC shot on, folks, all right? Not looking good today in the markets. It actually went up some, but it's still in the negative today. And as I stated, hold on, let me mess with my settings here. I know it looks a little dark. Hold on just one second. Let me go ahead and don't say boomer versus technology, you dumb pieces of crap, all right? All right. Anyway, I don't have the engineer with me today, so it is what it is. All right, here it is. Dow Jones Industrial is down today, 0.97%, closing out the Dow at 42,573.73 points for the Dow Jones Industrial. We've got the S&P 500 down 1.07% on the day. S&P 500, it closes out at 5,906.94 points for the S&P 500. And the NASDAQ is also down today, 1.19%, closing out the NASDAQ at 19,486.78 points for the NASDAQ composite. Now, as you can see, not going into the new year with a rally whatsoever. And as I stated on the last broadcast when I highlighted all the damn companies that are closing down and many of their locations in the month of December, I mean, all this really preludes into some kind of situation that I think we're anticipating. I think everybody anticipates. All right? And what that is a recession. We're waiting for it. As a matter of fact, many institutional Wall Street investors have been waiting for it. The problem is that we have never seen this amount of money printed when it comes to post-COVID money printing. I mean, 60% of the circulation was printed after COVID. So just letting you know. All right? Anyway, Kits Doesn't Flip. Are we going to have a Radio Graffiti to discuss the highlights of 2024? No, we're not. All right? I mean, not on this show, because I'm broadcasting on platforms that would otherwise ban me for many of you foul-mouthed racist comments, all right? And since you did that last year during the last show of 2024, no, we're not doing that, all right? We're not doing that. All right, and look, I still got Five-Finger Prostate Punch pissed because I ignored him just like everybody else spamming the same fucking garbage. All right? I'll unban you later. All right? But if you're going to spam at me on Twitter or X, I'm just going to ignore you. I don't give a shit if you talk crap about me. I don't give a shit if you criticize me. But if you're going to spam the same garbage, you're going to get ignored. And that's the same thing with any of the chat rooms, especially when I'm doing True Capitalist Radio. I know that I've got some of you loser trolls that like to, fan your nuts to the Ghost Show, that you come over here and you think that you can pull the same shenanigans. I ain't going to do it. All right? We ain't doing that. So, go somewhere else. All right? Go somewhere else. Anyway, with that being said, folks, as I stated, I am not an investor in this market. I think that every mega cap and every large cap is way over-speculated. And as I stated on the last show, we're at levels of over-speculation that are in the comparisons of the 1929 crash level. And as I've stated, why don't you just take a look at the charts of each and every one of these indices, and you'll see that if a 20 or 30% contraction hit this market at this point in time, I mean, by God, I think that trillions of dollars would be instantaneously wiped out of the market. So I have always said cash is king, and I said it on the last show, and it bears repeating. Anyway, thank you, Kits Doesn't Flip. We're just not going to do it, man. All right, cheers to you. And look, as I showed you on the last show, all the store closures that are happening this month alone, take a look at this. Credit card charge-offs and delinquencies hit a 13-year high. So all these indicators are suggesting that things aren't good and people are running on empty when it comes to their finances. And I think that 2025 is going to be a reckoning when it comes to economics. And it's not just because of all the things that I'm mentioning here. Because we have an incoming administration that has said some pretty radical things that it wants to do or attempt to do when it comes to the economy that I think are going to have mega negative impacts on the economy on top of everything else that we're anticipating. So as I stated, I am not an investor in the stock market. If anything, I've got a basket full of small cap growth stocks. And even then, those are things that I'm not touching until 2025, 2026. All right. In my opinion, cash is king. Money markets are all right. But in my opinion, you want to have cash on hand because when these damn prices start collapsing, you want to be there to start buying up shit on the cheap. And you know that we're in a recession when you start seeing these gold buyer locations start popping up out of nowhere. Have you started to see these locations in your local markets where you got people opening up shop, not selling anything, but wanting to buy your gold? that's an indicator that we are seeing an entrance into a major recession. So once again, indicators all over the place. I am not a buyer in this market. And let me tell you, a lot of people that are in the gold market agree with me. Take a look at gold here. It is up modestly today, 0.08%, but still sticking at around that 2,600 per troy ounce mark. And oil is up modestly today, 0.25%, closing out oil at $71.17 per barrel of WTI sweet crude oil. Now, with that being said, since it's the end of the year, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the commodities out here, because that's what's causing most of the inflation, right? Everything that we need, not what we want. All right, needs are going up. And let's take a look at year to date. All right, percentages. All right, now this is all the lists of all the different commodities out here. And this right here is the year to date. All right, the year to date, the third to last to the right is the year to date. And if you take a look at gas, natural gas year to date, up 65.28% year to date. You take a look at all the gas prices, especially in Europe. Take a look at that, almost 50%. So everybody has been paying a little extra for natural gas and gas in general. Of course, year to date, gold is up 26.37%. Silver is up 21.80%. Now, folks, I know there's a lot of folks that live and die when it comes to investing in gold. But in my opinion, you take a look at the gold price, which is at $2,600. You take a look at the silver price, which is at $28.94 or $28.94. I'm telling you, during the last crash, we got close to $60 a troy ounce of silver. And because it doesn't look like inflation is going to go anywhere, especially with this new incoming administration that doesn't want a debt ceiling, that wants to spend into oblivion, they're talking about stimulus checks again. I don't see inflation calming down anytime soon. And as I stated, in the last crash, which was the 2009-2010 era, we saw silver go almost $60 a troy ounce. This time around, considering all the inflation that we're seeing, it could get close to 100. So if you want a better return on investment when it comes to investing in metals, in my opinion, it's silver at this point. I mean, you get an entry point at about $28, $27. You get out of there at about $60, $70 whenever we finally see the peak of silver, and this is where you want to be. But year to date, it's up 21%, all right, close to 22% on your money. All right, now, everything else in the metals department is in the negative. I don't know if you noticed that. So, year to date, not much going on in metals with the exception of gold and silver. And then we've got the agriculture where all the food prices come from. And if you take a look at this, you got 24.22% increase in rubber. If you're an orange juice drinker, which I am, let me tell you, you have seen the price increase in OJ. And a lot of that has to do with natural disasters and a bunch of things happening over there in Florida and the regions that actually produce oranges, even in South America. It is up 52.14% year to date on orange juice. Coffee, the same shit. Take a look at coffee. All you coffee drinkers out there, you have paid close to 70% increase year to date on your cup of coffee. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm surprised that Starbucks is even still in business at that fucking inflationary rate. And take a look at the biggest gainer of them all in commodities, cacao, which is the base for chocolate. And we've had a very big situation in the Ivory Coast, which is where most of the cacao is produced, believe it or not. Anyway, cacao is up 167.43% year to date. Year to date. And you take a look at tea. I drink also a lot of tea. Not a limey, by the way, up 21.10% year to date. Sunflower oil also up 55.16% year to date. And butter. No wonder I've been, paying so much for butter. Butter is up 31.83% year to date. So you're wondering why you're paying so much at the grocery store. There you go. There you go. Now let's go down to livestock here, and livestock continues to go up high. We're at all-time highs when it comes to livestock, particularly beef. All right, you take a look at the year-to-date on cattle feeder, which is what the cows eat. It is up 17.31% year-to-date. Live cattle is up 15.18% year to date. Take a look at the all-time chart on cattle. We are at all-time highs right now. And if you want my opinion, that's another reason why I believe you're seeing so much illness in today's world. Aside from whatever happened in the 2020 COVID episode, I mean, we're seeing it because nobody's actually eating nutritious food. Nobody's actually eating nutritious food whatsoever. Instead, they're going to the frozen aisle. And I don't know about your grocery store, folks, but the frozen aisle has expanded. All right, to the point where it's half the store now. It's half the damn grocery store. I mean, it's unbelievable. And this processed crap is really what is the culprit, at least the main culprit, of many people falling ill. And as you can see, take a look at the chart on live cattle. All-time high. Let's take a look at beef, because beef is up 20% year to date. All right, let's take a look at an all-time chart there. All-time highs once again. All-time highs once again. So even though you may start seeing prices come down on a lot of the wants that you're seeing, the things that we need are not going to come down. And I'd like to remind everybody that I did say that this was going to happen in March of 2022. Go to my website, ghost.report. That True Capitalist Radio is on that website. And I said this was going to happen. And lo and behold, I hope some of you listened. I hope some of you kind of planned ahead, because now we're there. All right. So not looking good for us when it comes to the inflation situation, when it comes to our needs as opposed to our wants. All right. So with that being said, I am not a buyer, all right, in any of these stock markets. All right. I'm holding cash. I'm waiting for the contraction. And that's what I'm waiting for, all right? I mean, that's all there is to it. And Belligerent Brian, how do you invest in metals with a rumble rant? Well, metals you can invest in a different capacity. You can buy physical bullion, which are gold or silver bars, which is just spot value. But I like, when I'm going to invest in physical silver and gold, I like to go into the coin market. Because the coin market, believe it or not, there's intrinsic value outside of the initial spot value of the gold or silver weight. There's nuances in the coins that are sought after by the coin market. And believe it or not, the coin market pays cash, all right, whenever certain coins are in demand. All right, it depends on where a coin is struck. It depends on what year it is. It depends on the kind of coin. And when the spot value goes up for coinage, so does the nuances and the intricacies that make the coin valuable. Now, if you're not going to do that, another strategy would be invest in ETFs, exchange traded funds, which potentially will give you the increase in value with the increase in value in gold or silver. You can also invest in mining stocks, which I think is a big risk. But big risk, big reward. So there's a variety of different ways to play the coin market, in my opinion, or the silver and gold market. And what about iron there? Five-finger prostate punch. And Blade the Stellron Hunter, opinion on what could happen to Cardano. Prices dipping. Would it be smart to buy now since it's under $1? That's a very good question. We're seeing a contraction in the general cryptocurrency market. So let's go ahead and go to cryptocurrency. As you can see, Bitcoin right now is at $92,000. Everything is contracting because we're at the end of the year. And what people usually do at the end of the year is they usually sell off. Now, I'm not saying every investor does this, but enough investors do it to make an effect on the market. What they do is they usually sell off what they have at the end of the year, right before the end of the year. And as the new year approaches or after the new year, they rebuy whatever it is that they had the previous year. There's a bunch of tax implications for that. I'm not an accountant, so I'm not suggesting people do that, but that's what I'm attributing this sell-off to. And the reason I'm saying that we're seeing it in Bitcoin specifically is because MicroStrategy, the company that is ran by a guy named Michael Saylor, he is the third largest Bitcoin holder in the Bitcoin scene out here. He just bought another 1,000, or MicroStrategy bought another 1,000 Bitcoin. So, I mean, the fact that this guy purchased 1,000 Bitcoin at under $100,000 and this didn't take off, I mean, that buy alone didn't take this damn thing off, suggests that there's a liquidation situation going on. And in my opinion, it's either people selling off before the new year, or they're selling off because they got to pay their rent. All right, but either way, we're seeing a contraction. I still do believe, considering how close the Cardano creator is, how close he is to the president, President Trump, and also the connection with XRP. Cardano and XRP, in my opinion, are going to be the standard when it comes to cryptocurrency in this country. And as I stated about Bitcoin, I am not a buyer at Bitcoin at these levels. I had suggested early last year that when we started seeing Bitcoin at about 28, 29, I suggested, look, buy this damn thing. You're starting to see momentum. You're starting to see inflows of money coming into Bitcoin. And if you would have invested back then and held until about 70 or 80,000, you'd be generously rewarded. But I'm telling you right now, at these prices, do not buy. The whole reason why institutional investors are trying to stoke the market into buying Bitcoin is so that they themselves can profit, first of all, off of the low buy price they got. But as I stated, be very, very cautious about Bitcoin, because the largest Bitcoin holders in the world hold most of the Bitcoin. And all they've got to do is sell off 15%, 10% of their holdings and crash the market while at the same time shorting it. And I think that is the end goal of Bitcoin, is that they're trying to hype up this price, getting a bunch of normies to buy it at 100,000, 150,000, whatever they're willing to buy it for. And let me tell you something right now. I told you this on the last show. I've been telling you this on the past several shows. George Soros in the 90s shorted the British pound and made $1 billion in one day. And you know, the British pound doesn't go over or under the US dollar too far. So if he can make $1 billion off of shorting the British pound, just imagine what BlackRock and MicroStrategy and all these fucking people that are big whales in Bitcoin, imagine how much they can make. Aside from selling it at these high rates, how much they can make by shorting it. And we've got speculation of people that are in the industry of Bitcoin suggesting that we could see a 60% decrease in the next year. And let me tell you, anybody who's shorting that is going to be generously rewarded. Belligerent Brian, this explains why Josh invests in silver coins. Cheers. You're talking about Josh Moon. Yeah. Coinage is where you want to invest in silver, in my opinion. And Sultan Czar, press 1 if the ghosties are rigged. Yeah, right. Kits does a flip. It's a fucking coin slot time, dude. Well, thank you very much there, Kits does a flip. Anyway, that concludes the markets at this point in time. Let's go ahead and get to the news and all the domestic politics and all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and lead right in to the main story here. I don't know if y'all heard. President Jimmy Carter, former president, has died at age 100. Now, obviously, you know, everybody's kind of taken back whenever a president dies. It's a very important moment in American history and that sort of thing. But I was not surprised that Jimmy Carter was pronounced dead here, because did you see him when they rolled him out about a couple of weeks ago to get some fresh air? I couldn't believe that they did this. I got to show you people this. I'm not joking around. They actually wheeled out Jimmy Carter about a couple of weeks ago saying, oh, look, here he is. He's taking in the sun. And he looked like he was dead then. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I mean, I couldn't believe that the people that are his caregivers, his family, allowed poor, decrepit, half-dead Jimmy Carter to be wheeled out into the public. Let me show you this, and I got to blow this up because you got to see this. This is unbelievable. All right, this was a couple of weeks ago, actually. Put the PC shot on. Here's Jimmy Carter with his caregiver, and as you can see, I was not really surprised that Jimmy Carter was announced dead. I mean, give me a break. I mean, who wants to live like this? I mean, it looks like Joe Biden, for Christ's sake. Who the hell wants to live like this? Oh, my God. So anyway, I'll tell you right now, I wasn't surprised when Jimmy Carter was announced dead because, I mean, they've been propping him up. They've been keeping him alive. That's just ridiculous. All right? That's why I drink a lot. That's why I smoke. I don't ever want to end up like that, for heaven's sake. Jesus Christ, that was horrible. But anyway, R.I.P. to Jimmy Carter, even though he wasn't one of the best presidents we ever had. And we was peanuts and shit. Anyway, that's the what I have to say about Jimmy Carter. And Sultan Czar, hashtag peanuts for Carter. And Five Finger Prostate Punch, Carter was dead months ago. His family has been doing a weekend at Bernie's for the election cycle to promote Kamala. Well, I don't know if they're doing it for that, but I mean, they're definitely propping up this poor bastard. I'll tell you that right now. That is a horrible scene, and I don't ever want to get like that, all right? So anyway, I just wanted to briefly give some RIP condolences to Jimmy Carter, a former American president. And, yeah, I don't ever want to end up like that. That's horrible, man. Jesus Christ. But anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the main subject matter that I'm going to talk about here. And I'm talking about the Maga Civil War, folks. Now, as y'all heard on the last broadcast, I was basking in the fact that I told you also that this was going to happen. And for those that don't believe me, look in the archive. All right, whether it's YouTube or Rumble, look in the archive. I had been saying that this exactly what was Trump was going to, this is what he was going to do. This is what he was going to do. And the gratification that I'm taking from it is all the MAGA grifters, all the people that have podcasts and, you know, these MAGA influencers, what they're finally starting to recognize is that they never really mattered. They never really mattered. And take a look at this. They're coming out pretending that they mattered.
That for $1.
All right, pretending like they mattered, for Christ's sake. So with that being said, let's take a look at this. Put the PC shot on. Steve Bannon slams toddler Elon Musk after Tesla owner tells critics to go fuck yourself in the face as MAGA civil war rages on. Now, everybody is coming out against Elon Musk in the MAGA department. And what I'm going to tell each and every one of you, it doesn't matter what you MAGA people want. All right? I mean, I told you throughout the whole campaign that Trump was up for the highest bidder. He's a soulless cash whore. And as a result, he is going and doing the policies of which his money masters are telling him. So as a result, all you folks that are out here thinking that, oh, look at me, I'm a good talker. I got all these boomers giving me money just for me saying MAGA, MAGA. You don't matter anymore. Steve Bannon, you don't matter anymore. If you did, you would be a part of this cabinet that Trump is picking out. But you're not. If you were pertinent, you'd be an advisor like you were in 2016. But you're not. All right? You're not relevant. You're not relevant. And I wish that people would understand, especially in the MAGA chattering class, that, hey, the grift is up. All right, you don't think Trump realizes that most of you folks that were out here getting fucking money from dumbass boomers out here that are praising false patriotism, you don't think that Trump knew that you were using his name in order to make all that cash? I mean, give me a break. I'm talking to all you MAGA-tards that have been doing this ever since 16. You don't think he knows that? Of course he does. You never gave any of that money to him. Most of you, the Benny Johnsons and these fucking salty crackers and all these stupid, dumb MAGA-tard grifters, they never gave Trump a dime. So, of course, Trump isn't going to be loyal to you, isn't going to be loyal to fucking Steve Bannon, certainly is not going to be loyal to Laura Loomer. And speaking of Laura Loomer, not doing too well either, aside from her criticizing the Indians as a whole, that they don't have centralized plumbing, they're dirty, or whatever the hell she was saying on X, she actually accidentally doxed Trump's AI guy, which I haven't really talked about on this show because he's taken most of the flack. And the reason he's taken most of the flack on this Indian H-1B visa situation, because aside from him talking about it many times publicly, he looks like kind of an ugly guy. He looks like an ugly, I mean, no offense, I'm not trying to say anything bad about the guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy, smart guy. But he looks ugly, and he looks like your quintessential scammer from Calcutta. Now, that being said, Laura Loomer accidentally doxed the AI guy, And she's trying to grovel and say, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And the reason that she, quote, accidentally doxed him was because she posted some FEC or Federal Election Commission records that had some information about him that consequently had the man's address. And now she's trying to do everything she can to try to say, I'm sorry, so it'll prevent her from getting sued. And by the way, a lot of these Indians are starting to sue these social media people that are going at them in the capacity of racism or anti-H-1B visa. I'm not joking. I am not joking. So for all you social media influencers out there that are going to be a little hasteful, a little racist when it comes to criticizing H-1B visas, I mean, these Hindus are talking about going and suing you people. So Laura Loomer, of course, is trying to backtrack. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. So let's see what happens. And look, if it's public record, who cares? But Devious Dave, these Indians have a lot of money. And they can sue you, and you have to deal with that shit. All right? So if you're willing to go out there and say, hey, look, here's this Indian, and here's where he lives, or here's what... I mean, these Indians are going to sue. You know that Patel guy that is supposedly running or in the running for the FBI head position? He's suing a lot of people that are talking about him on social media. Look this shit up. I'm not kidding around. I'm not joking. Now, with that being said, with all the hoopla that has happened because of the whole H-1B visa situation, Trump, being the dictator that he thinks he is, take a look at this. Trump is imposing a social media ban on all cabinet picks after the Maga Civil War over migrant visas. Oh, come on, Trump. What? People can't express themselves like you do every goddamn time on that ridiculous scam you call Truth Social? You mean to tell me that people can't express themselves? Oh, take a look at that. Take a look at that. You can't be on social media if you're somebody who either works for the Trump administration or is picked for the cabinet position. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, so much for transparency. So much, for the people type of governance, right? Unfucking believable. A ban on social media if you happen to be a cabinet pick. I mean, come on. What are you afraid of, Trump? What are you afraid of? I'll tell you what he's afraid of. He's afraid of being exposed for selling each and every one of you that voted him out in favor of the oligarchs that are basically have a hand up his ass. And I'm talking about Elon Musk, the Peter Thiels, the David Sachs. That's why I hope each and every one of you feel like a complete idiot, because every single supposed immigration policy that you thought he was going to pass, I told you he wasn't going to pass it. All these economic policies that he's claiming he's going to pass, he's not going to pass it. He can't even get his cabinet positions filled. He doesn't even have the support of the Republican Party when it comes to his cabinet positions. I mean, just take a look at Matt Gaetz. I mean, the Matt Gaetz situation was a major L for Trump. A major L. So once again, if you happen to be affiliated with the Trump administration or be a cabinet pick, you cannot be on social media, according to King Trump. So here we are. I mean, this is why I'm saying, folks, all right, this is why I didn't want this guy to be the nominee of the Republican Party, because I knew that he did not have the clout within the system to get anything accomplished. And look, it's getting even worse. I told you guys on the last show that it's so discombobulated in the GOP that they don't even know if they're even all on board around a Speaker of the House. Remember I told you that last show, that if they don't come up with a House Speaker by January 20th, that there's going to be no one to certify the election. And if there's nobody to certify the election, according to the Constitution, the president should become the Speaker of the House. The Speaker of the House becomes president. But if there's no Speaker of the House, because there hasn't been one voted in by the House by January 20th, then potentially Trump may not be president. And it all comes down to whether or not all of the Republican Party are going to coalesce behind a Speaker of the House. Well, take a look at this. This is not going to hit many of the folks in the Freedom Caucus very well. Take a look at this. Donald Trump backs Mike Johnson to remain as House Speaker. Johnson has faced backlash from some in his party since he passed the legislation to prevent a government shutdown without a major spending cut before the holidays. And now you've got Trump claiming that he's backing him up, which is another double backhand to all the MAGA people who think Mike Johnson is a rhino. Now, for all you folks that are out there that were calling me a liberal and calling me a Democrat, here you have Mike Johnson, basically I mean, what a definition of a rhino would be, although I don't think he's a rhino. I think that he's a politician, trying to compromise and maneuver and that sort of thing. But the Freedom Caucus doesn't understand that just because they have a slim majority in the House doesn't mean that they can dictate policy. All right, it's a slim majority. If you had a supermajority, who would care what the other side thinks? But that's not what happens. So I'm telling you right now, this is going to cause another rift. I can already see it right now. If you happen to be on X or Twitter, it's already happening right now. A complete discombobulation of MAGA over Johnson on top of the H-1B visa situation. So I'll be honest with you. If you guys want to troll, I mean, especially you folks that are out there that got banned because of the H-1B visa situation, because of the criticism, for those that are in opposition to it, who think you got, slapped in the face, that you got rug pulled, I think that if you wanted to really cause some trolling in the political realm, I think that you should contact the Lauren Boeberts, the Marjorie Taylor Greens, these Freedom Caucus people, the Chip Roys, and tell them to be adamant about no on Mike Johnson and no on any rhino kind of Speaker of the House, to the point where there's no Speaker by January 20th. And if there's no Speaker by January 20th, Trump cannot be certified as the president. The Speaker of the House can't become president because there is no voted-in Speaker of the House. So who becomes president? How about none other than 91-year-old Chuck Grassley? All right, put the PC shot on. All right, is it really possible for Chuck Grassley to become president? Yes, it is. And it's defined that way by the Constitution. And I'll be honest with you, I have nothing against Chuck Grassley at all. He is a senior Republican who has been a very straight arrow. There's nothing in this guy's closet. Granted, he's 91 years old. But hey, I mean, he could be the Lord Cromwell of the United States government in order to quash all the partisanship that has been that has been manifested in this damn election, in my personal opinion. All right? So, in my view, I think that it would behoove all you folks that feel like you've been betrayed by Trump, you've been betrayed by Elon Musk, you've been betrayed, because you should feel betrayed. You should contact your congressman, you should contact your senators, and tell them that you don't want a, quote, rhino Speaker of the House, and cause so much division that they're not going to come up with any kind of a Speaker of the House by January 20th. And if you want my opinion, I don't think that that's a bad idea. I think that America needs a slap in the mouth. And what Chuck Grassley could do is just be a holding pattern in order for us to kind of get our senses straight and not be so fucking partisan and not be taken by a bunch of charlatans, which is what many of you have been taken by in this Trump election. So I'll tell you right now, I mean, I'm not really thinking this is going to happen. I know the possibilities there. I'm just thinking it from a troll perspective. Let's just see let's see what happens. Let's do this. All right? I mean, let's just try this. All right? Call your local congressman, call your House of Representative, and say no. All right, to Mike Johnson, and no to any other rhino. And let me tell you, what's going to happen is that the Freedom Caucus is not going to allow Mike Johnson to be the Speaker of the House. they're going to want one of their people. And nobody, even on the right, nobody likes the Freedom Caucus. So it's going to be a fucking stalemate. And I'll be honest with you, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see a stalemate. I'd like to see this constitutional clause be implemented just for the sake of being trolly. All right? So once again, from now until January 20th, I would put pressure. How do you contact them? Just go to the House of Representative website and contact them and say, look, we don't want a rhino as a Speaker of the House. We're not for Mike Johnson. And look, this has nothing against Mike Johnson. I actually think Mike Johnson is a practical politician. All right? He's just a practical politician. But because the Freedom Caucus doesn't like him, MAGA people don't like him, I think that, us as the American people, especially many of the MAGA component that feels like they've been betrayed, I think they should do this. All you've got to do is put pressure on your politician. Tweet at him, email him, call him, and say, we don't want a rhino Speaker of the House. We don't want a rhino Speaker of the House. And look, it'll be a stalemate all the way until January 20th. And if there is no Speaker of the House January 20th, old 91-year-old Chuck Grassley becomes president. And I'll be honest with you, I'd like to see the amount of shit show that ensues when that happens. All right? And it's not because it's not constitutional. It's completely constitutional. All right? Because we have a discombobulated GOP that has a majority and yet can't come up with who the hell they want to lead the House. Now, what the hell does that say about the Republican Party at this point in time? So once again, if you happen to be somebody who feels betrayed by the H-1B visa situation, if you feel like you've been rug pulled, I would suggest that you call your congressman, your House of Representative, and say, no, don't vote for Mike Johnson, don't vote for rhinos, and it's going to force the Republicans to put in somebody from the Freedom Caucus, and most of the people don't like the Freedom Caucus. So I'm only doing this because I just want to see the shit show in politics. I don't really give a fuck, to be honest with you. All right, we're fucked either way. I just don't want to be as fucked. You know what I mean? So anyway, very interesting situation if you want my personal opinion. And I think it's completely possible. I think it's completely possible. Now, going towards Elon Musk, all right? I wanted to talk about Elon Musk because, really it's him that caused the internal strife and civil war amongst MAGA. And today, a ex-Army general came out and did an op-ed in the New York Times stating that Elon Musk is a national security risk. Now, listen, I'll be honest with you. I am suspect about Elon Musk. I had always told you that this free speech thing was not actual free speech. You dumbass MAGA people started ingratiating Elon Musk as the Prime Minister of America. Do y'all remember that? When he was in opposition to the Mike Johnson spending bill, the MAGA people were calling this guy the de facto Prime Minister of America. But when he came out in support of H-1B, all of a sudden the guy is a bastard, he's a devil, he should be deported. So in my personal opinion, I'm really suspect about Elon Musk. I'm really suspect that he's so close to China. I'm really suspect that he has had secret conversations with Putin. And the fact that he has had secret conversations with Putin, and then you've got Russia trying to kind of tear the cable lines for the internet in Europe. Have y'all heard about this? You've got Russian and Chinese ships trying to drag, devices on the seafloor in order to snap the internet cables. Now, why would the Russians and the Chinese want to do that? Because who would be the alternative to be able to provide internet service other than satellite internet service like Starlink from old Elon Musk? And this is why Elon Musk put almost $200 million in a matter of 3 months into the campaign of Donald Trump, because this is exactly what he wants. He wants even more no-bid contracts that are going to go right into his pocket. That's what this whole Doge crap, this Department of Office of Government Efficiency, that's what it's all about. He's going to cut all this spending for everybody else, and he's going to make sure that most of that is funneled into government contracts into many of his variety different companies. That's what this is all about. And as I stated, I never thought that Elon Musk had any loyalty to America. I mean, this guy is talking to Putin. He's talking to China. I mean, this guy is in high levels of security clearance in American government that it should be of concern of everybody that this guy has this much influence. And look, as I stated on the last broadcast, I think another factor and the reason why Elon Musk wants this H-1B visa situation to be expanded is because he wants to put H-1B visa people into high security clearance technology that is made for the American government, which I think is a threat to America's national security. And that's what this retired Army general is saying. So unless Elon Musk is going to be transparent in what he's doing offshore, which he really isn't, he isn't really telling us what he's doing over there in China. He's really not telling us why he's calling Putin. He's really not telling us anything. So I agree with this general. I mean, Elon Musk needs to be a little bit more transparent on what his motives are, and he's not. In my opinion, he's an unempathetic autist who doesn't give a shit about anything other than controlling the entire world. And look, Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and David Sachs and all these PayPal mafia people, I mean, they don't just want to control the world like the banksters did for the past few hundred years. You know, the Federal Reserves, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. This guy wants total control of your brain. Take a look at Neuralink, all right? He wants Neuralink to be put into everybody's brain, to be tapped into his proprietary internet, so that he can be in control of who you are, just like he's in control of all his cyber trucks, his Tesla cars, that sort of thing. I mean, this is beyond 1984. This is beyond a Brave New World. This is beyond the Mark of the Beast. So I really do not trust Musk. I never have. I've always been critical of him. I said that he is the best con man that ever lived. He's never really produced anything. I mean, take a look at the Tesla cars he's produced. There's a fucking recall of 700,000 of these damn things already. Did y'all hear about that? And on top of which, the Cybertruck, which many of you morons paid $120,000 for, is nothing more than a fucking go-kart with with stainless steel glued to the frame of a go-kart. It's literally what it is.
Buy that for $1.
Glued to a frame of a go-kart. And we got Gorgiras Trains. What's up, man? Happy New Year's, Ghost, and thank you for a year of great content and insight. I'm proud to be the Inner Circle. Help me with my financial gains and commentary. Cheers. Well, thank you, Gorgira. I appreciate it, man. Happy New Year to you. Glad to have you in the Inner Circle. And I'm glad that you benefited from hanging around us and kicking it with us, man. Cheers to you. All right. And once again, cheers to everybody in the Inner Circle and the True Capitalist Radio member chat, man. Cheers to all you guys. But anyway, I believe this general. I think Elon Musk is a national security threat, but nothing's going to happen to him now if Trump's going to be elected. As a matter of fact, I think that his security clearance is going to be elevated to the maximum amount allowed possible. I mean, that's... Anyway, and speaking of Trump and Russia and all this other shit, remember, let's go ahead and transition, no pun intended, into international news. Remember when Trump said that he'll be able to resolve the Russia-Ukraine situation before he's even nominated, or before he's inaugurated, excuse me. Remember that he said that? Well, take a look at this. Russia said it's been listening to Trump's plans for peace in Ukraine, and it's not happy. So it's rejected. All right? It's utterly rejected the peace plan that Trump thinks is going to be the art of the deal peace plan that's going to bring everybody onto the peace table. That ain't happening. All right, that ain't happening. That's why Trump needs to recognize it doesn't matter how much you simp for Putin. All right, he has his own motives, and he's co-opted you and Tucker Carlson and the rest of Maga to be out here and to do his bidding. I still, for the life of me, don't understand why everybody's simping on Putin. I don't get it. I don't want to get it. I think that Putin is a tyrant. We've been dealing with this fucking piece of shit since 1999, and he continuously invades countries. He's trying to re-establish the Soviet Union. There is no negotiating with this prick. We have already negotiated with this guy at least a half a dozen times, and it's gone nowhere. It's gone nowhere. So, once again, another L for Trump. Doesn't look like he's going to make any kind of peace in Ukraine or Russia before he's inaugurated. Yet another lie he had just done. But what difference does it make? He's the new Obama. Didn't I say that? I mean, didn't I say that Trump 2024 is Obama 2008? Same shit, different plate, man. Now, even though the Russians said that they don't like Trump's plan for a peace plan, Putin is desperate to get out of this war, all right? But he just doesn't want to lose face. He wants to save face. He doesn't want to lose face. Take a look at this. He wants this to be the stipulation if there's any peace. Take a look at this. Putin says Slovakia and Fico willing to broker Ukraine talks. Now, if you're not familiar with this Fico, he's the guy that is the head of state of Slovakia that got shot last year, and he survived. Now, I told you the reason that Fico got shot was because he is very close to Putin, much like Orban of Hungary, and many people have suggested, and I believe it myself, that Fico was shot because of his closeness to Putin and his threat to the European Union. And I think the same fate may happen to Orban as well, because many of these European Union member states, or pending European Union member states that are close to Putin, I think that it hurts the United Nations. I think it hurts NATO. I think it hurts Europe. And this is exactly why Putin wants to go through this avenue to broker any kind of a peace deal. Now, of course, Zelensky not too happy about this, all right, because the Slovakia head of state is literally a lackey of Putin, much like Orban of Hungary. So Zelensky came out and he gave his criticism. Take a look at this. Zelensky accuses Slovak PM Fico of aiding Putin. All right. Ukraine President Zelensky criticized Prime Minister Robert Fico for his stance on Russian gas imports, accusing him of helping Putin fund the war in Ukraine. This comes after Fico's visit to Moscow, where he expressed opposition to reducing Slovakia's energy dependence on Russia. So basically what Zelensky is saying is because Slovakia is continuously buying energy from Russia, that he's aiding the war machine. So that's the criticism by Zelensky. But once again, doesn't look like we're going anywhere in this Ukraine-Russia front. And as I stated, folks, I really don't care who wins this war. Nor does the CIA care who wins this war. The whole purpose of aiding Ukraine is to deplete Russia of population resources, economic resources, military resources, in order to dethrone them from any superpower status. That's what this is all about. All right? It's not about winning or losing. It's about neutralizing threats to America's national security. All right? So once again, just letting everybody know the truth. I know everybody wants to believe that we live in some kumbaya land. That ain't the way it is. All right? Anyway, with that being said, we talked about on the last show that we had this airline that got shot down. This Azerbaijan airline that got shot down over Russia. And I told you on the last broadcast that it actually got shot down over the Chechnya region. Now, I suggested that you should watch that because I personally believe that Kadyrov, which is the head of state of Chechnya, purposely shot down the Azerbaijan airline in order to make Putin look like a terrorist. Take a look at this. Baku responds to Razmom Kadyrov. Azerbaijan does not need your assistance, but demands recognition of fact. Now, it's a very eerie statement. because this is where this Azerbaijan commercial airline was shot down over. It was shot down over Chechnya, which is Russian territory. And as I stated, because we have Russia shooting down commercial airlines, they have turned from a state-on-state military theater, and they have now turned that into a state of terrorism. This is a terrorist state. This is what terrorist states do. And that's why I said on the last show, is Donald Trump going to continue to negotiate with Putin even after this? I mean, this puts Russia in the same category as a terrorist state. So are we going to negotiate with terrorists now? Now, Putin knows this. Putin is not stupid. Putin recognizes that, hey, wait a minute, what the fuck? Who the hell's shooting down commercial airlines when I'm trying to save face in this failure of an invasion that I did with Ukraine? What the hell's going on here? That's why Putin did something that he rarely ever does. Take a look at this. Putin apologizes for tragic incident, but stops short of saying Azerbaijan plane was shot down. Well, if it wasn't shot down, then why the hell did it come down? Huh? I mean, it was shot down because it was over Chechnya and it was shot down by Kadyrov. Now, why would Kadyrov want to shoot down a commercial airline? Because Kadyrov, in my personal opinion, is going to make a move on Putin just like I predicted Prigozhin was. I predicted Prigozhin was going to make a move on Putin before he even thought about it. Well, the same thing is going to happen here with Kadyrov. That's why this Azerbaijan plane was shot down. It was shot down to make Putin look like a terrorist in order to make Kadyrov look less of a terrorist. Because remember, that's what Kadyrov is known for. He's known for terrorizing everybody in the Caucasus regions out there in Chechnya. Now, with that being said, let me explain to you why Kadyrov wants to shoot down this plane to make Putin look like a terrorist. Now, this goes back to a situation, folks, that involves a corporation out of Russia. And that corporation, believe it or not, is called the Wildberries. I know it's a very interesting name, but that is the name of the corporation. Now, the couple that used to own that, or still owns that, got divorced, okay? And Putin backs up the wife of that divorce, and Kadyrov actually backs up the husband of that divorce. Why? Because Kadyrov was promised by the husband that he was going to gain revenue or ownership of the Wildberries for his protection. Now, a few months back, Kadyrov attempted to send in some men to the Wildberry headquarters in order to take it over through armed force, and was failed because it was protected by the FSB. And believe it or not, that's who's protecting the wife of the Wildberries owner. That's who's protecting the FSB. The husband, on the other hand, has Kadyrov and the Chechnyans backing him up. Here it is right here. All right, let me show you a clip of this. Here it is right here. Put the PC shot on. Russia, Wildberries CEO Tatiana Bakachuluk, whatever her name is, a strange husband, Vladislav Bakachuk, attempted an armed raid on a company office in Moscow in broad daylight. 2 people dead. The husband is supported by Chechen warlord Kadyrov. The wife is supported by FSB. Here it is right here, some of the footage of that. As you can see, a failed attempt by the husband of the Wildberry Corporation, which is backed up by Kadyrov. And the Russian courts actually gave Wildberries the company to Tatiana. And this is what has caused this rift amongst Kadyrov and Russia. And once again, this is why, in my opinion, that Azerbaijan plane was shot down over Chechnya to make Russia look, or I should say Putin look like a terrorist. So this is where we're at right now when it comes to Putin and Kadyrov. Watch Kadyrov, folks, all right? Watch Chechnya, watch Kadyrov. All right, I think things are about to get a little fucking, a little interesting, to say the least. Now, if it isn't Kadyrov, you've got Putin having an uprising by some domestic groups out there, especially in the region of the fuck is that fucking place called? Anyway, the fucking eastern region bordering Ukraine. That's Russian territory. Take a look at this. March on Moscow. I am Warrior Caesar leading the anti-Putin army inside Russia. We'll make sure Vlad falls just like the weak pal Assad in 2025. Now, this is an actual group that is inside the border of Russia in Kursk region. Yeah, well, I don't know. This is not Kursk region. This is actually a different region. But either way, this guy is the leader. This guy's the leader of the opposition within Russia that vows to take over Putin and vows to take control of Russia. So aside from Kadyrov, you've got a domestic opposition that is fomenting inside the country that could potentially aid in the process of toppling Putin. And you combine that, with, let's not forget that NATO seems to be getting froggy because remember, Trump is now he's going to be inaugurated as president, and he's a fucking Putin simp. So as a result, the NATO members are getting a little fucking concerned at this point in time. Take a look at this. All right, and I think that we could see conflict, in my opinion, with NATO and Russia. I think that we absolutely could. Take a look at this. NATO considers risk of unconventional Russian attack on alliance causing, quote, substantial casualties as real. So, in my opinion, Putin is juggling a lot of different opposition here, and I'm not too sure if he could keep it going. We talked about on the last show, his economy isn't doing too well. He's not doing too well in general. And I don't know when the people of Russia are going to have a pair of balls and remove this guy, because how many more Russian people have to go into the meat grinder for no reason before people start recognizing that this is wrong? But NATO, let's be honest. They're a little apprehensive of the fact that United States may pull their support from Ukraine and embolden Putin to continue going west and go into the Baltic regions. There's a threat, supposedly, that Putin is going to continue his invasion west going into the Baltic region. There was talk about potentially Finland being an invasion possibility. So this is why NATO is calculating what the hell could possibly happen if a Russian attack happens on one of the NATO member states. Now, with that being said, NATO isn't stupid. All right. NATO right now is training. They're training right now on the border in hopes of, acting as a deterrent. I have no idea, but I think that there could be some possible, some possible military theater, in my opinion. The goddamn Brits are training like they are. Take a look at this. All right, put the PC shot on. Take a look at this. Thousands of British soldiers to take part in NATO war games on the border of Ukraine. So they're training as if they're going to initiate some kind of confrontation with Russia. And I hope this happens. I hope it happens. Because Russia needs to be taken out. Now, the problem with it is that if NATO takes out Russia, they're going to take credit for our work. Look at all the billions of dollars.
Buy that for $1.
Look at all the billions of dollars. And hold on, we got 10 beers from Mega Max 578. And hold on, what's up, Peanut Gang and Queso? I am back from my adventures. Well, take a look. We're not doing that this time around. I'll play that on the Go Show, as well as Baldy Baltimore. Those are the first two people that are going to be played on the Go Show, all right? Thank you, Mega Max, and cheers to you, and Happy New Year. All right, and we was peanuts and shit. All right, so cheers to you, Mega Max, and, stay off the feet, all right? Anyway, once again, let's see what happens between the NATO forces and Russia and see if we're going to actually have a confrontation between NATO forces and Russia. And if NATO forces actually take down Russia, they're going to be taking credit for our moves, man. For our moves. Anyway, with that being said, another action that Putin took that I found very interesting, and this is a slap in the mouth to China. And once again, I have always said that the relationship between China and Russia is purely international optics. All right, this is not real. It's purely optical. It's to show the world that, hey, look at us, we're big badasses, even though both of them don't like each other. And actions speak louder than words. And take a look at what Putin did here recently. Take a look at this. Putin signs law allowing possible suspension of ban on Taliban activities. Now, why is this such an interesting development? Because, folks, the Taliban, as I reported on the last broadcast, just got hit up through the air by Pakistan. Pakistan hit up positions of the Taliban in Afghanistan, and the Taliban has declared war on Pakistan. Now, how is this a hit on China? Well, take a look at all the development, all the money that China's put into Pakistan, hundreds of billions of dollars into the Pakistan-China economic corridor, into the Belt Road Initiative, that sort of thing. So for Putin to lift the ban on the suspension of Taliban activities and to no longer suggest or define it as a terrorist state, this is a slap in the face to China. It's a slap in the face to China. And Megamax with a Rumble rant, hashtag foot right. Yeah, thank you, Megamax. Cheers to you. It's a slap in the face to China. Now, with that being said, let's make a transition, no pun intended, to talking about this situation over there with the Taliban and Pakistan. Now, take a look at this. Put the PC shot on. Afghan Taliban forces target several points in Pakistan in retaliation for airstrikes. Now, I don't know if you've been seeing the footage that's coming out of X. And that's one thing I like about X. I know I was critical about Elon Musk, but I do like X, and they allow, the raw footage of what is going on in wartime, and it's pretty sobering to say the least. But the Afghanistan Taliban is hitting up Pakistan and killing them en masse. I saw a video of the Taliban with like 8 soldiers of fucking Pakistani soldiers lined up dead. All right, blown away. All right, videotape style. All right, what did I tell you about Afghanistan once we left? I said that we had a deal with the Afghanistan Taliban. We told the Taliban, look, we're going to leave. We're going to leave all of our vehicles, all of our armaments for you, but you work for us now. You're our terrorist satellite, all right? And you're going to do what we say, and you're going to terrorize your neighbors, because that's why we're leaving you all of our weapons. And of course, sometimes the Taliban likes to get uppity and tries to deal with China, tries to deal with Russia. Whenever they attempt to do that, ISIS pops up out of nowhere in Afghanistan and blows away a governor or blows away one of the goddamn Taliban top commanders. And that's when the Taliban go, no, don't do it. I'm sorry. So that's why the Taliban is attacking our enemies. And Pakistan is one of them, because we want Pakistan to fall as a state in order for China to lose all of its investment, the hundreds of billions of investment they invested into Pakistan. And take a look at this. Pakistan confirms that Taliban attack on border outposts. That's right. They're attacking, and I think they've actually taken a couple of military outposts. I don't know why Pakistan messed with the Taliban. That's all the Taliban loves to do, is they like to fight. They like to go and, commit acts of war, guerrilla war. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I told you this was going to happen. You know what I mean? I had told you that there was a lot of activity in Pakistan from the Imran Khan supporters that are going apeshit up there, the Balakistani separatists that are fucking with the Gwadar airport and all that bullshit from the China Economic Corridor investments. You've got the Pashtuns that are getting uppity up there. You got the Tariqi Taliban, all right, which is the Pakistan of the Taliban Pakistan. You've got Al-Qaeda in there. So they're dealing with a lot of shit. And the fact that Pakistan decided that it wanted to hit up the Taliban, give me a break. They're regretting it now. Take a look at this. The Pakistan faces unprecedented resurgence of Taliban violence. All this because these idiots wanted to hit them up. I think that they just shook a hornet's nest, and I think Pakistan is about to feel the reckoning of it. And if you happen to be on X, take a look at Taliban Pakistan footage. They're not messing around. All right, they are absolutely not messing around. So once again, the prognosticator of prognosticators strikes again. I told you there was going to be some shit going down in Pakistan. Now, is China going to take the bait? Because remember, I had suggested that China should allow itself, under the behest of the Pakistani government, to go in there and quash this opposition. You know what I mean? I mean, they need to quash this crap. I mean, take a look at this. I mean, this is what's happening. Is China's Silk Road Initiative dead? And the reason it's asking if it's dead is because they invested hundreds of billions in Pakistan to be the beginning of that Silk Road Initiative. And take a look at the airport that they spent, I don't know how many hundreds of billions of dollars that they built in the Balochistan region over there in Pakistan. Take a look at this. They have to delay the opening of it now. And didn't I predict that airport is going to be hit up by a terrorist? Take a look at this. Pakistan delays opening of New Gwadar International Airport for the third time. Like I said, folks, all right, this investment by China is very important because their economy is bad. We've been talking about it on many different shows.
Buy that for $1.
And what's up, my boy? What's going on? What is this? Just became a member. What's going on? Hey, Ghost, sending love from Las Vegas. Been a while since I last caught you live. Been working my ass off for the last 2 years. I love your show since the TCR days, and I'm now chasing my dream job, building up a savings and credit, and I'm happy to say it's been going well, and now I have a bartender, and I love working. Well, dude, bartending, if you're a young guy, I don't know why more people don't become bartenders. I don't understand that. I mean, you become social, even if you're an antisocial prick. You know, you get laid. You know what I'm saying? And Duke Orville with the Rumble Rant, he said, I don't think Xi Jinping is going to be around much longer. I agree with that. But once again, cheers to the newest member, my boy. What's up, man? Cheers to you, newest member of the True Capitalist Radio chat room. And I will be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room after this show. So if you happen to be a member of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, I will be in there probably 20 or 30 minutes after this show. So cheers to you guys, all right? But once again, Pakistan delays opening of New Gwadar International Airport for the third time due to security threats. Now, unless China goes in and protects these assets, I think they're going to lose all their investment in Pakistan, and they can't afford to lose that investment. I mean, their gums are bleeding. Their fucking economy is floundering. The only reason why they're still going is because they keep printing money. I mean, we've talked about it on the past several shows, stimulus after stimulus after stimulus, and we know that's just kicking the can down the road. That isn't a recipe for disaster. That is a recipe for disaster. So once again, is China going to actually make a move and go into Pakistan to quash this opposition? Is it going to be a mediator between the Pakistan and the Afghanistan Taliban? We shall see, folks. But didn't I tell you on the last show, keep your eye on Pakistan and Afghanistan, baby. Keep your eye on Afghanistan and Pakistan. Now, Pakistan, knowing that it done goofed and probably hit a hornet's nest, are now going to China begging for weapons. Take a look at this. Bankrupt Pakistan plans to procure 40 powerful weapons from China, eyes to strengthen its... But are these cheap copies worth it? Now, this is an Indian publication. So this is why they're writing it like this, because Pakistan and India, they've already had 3 wars together, and India has kicked the shit out of them twice. So that's why they're writing this headline like so. But once again, they are trying to get jets, they're trying to get weapons, And the reason is because they got a lot of opposition, particularly the Taliban. The problem, Pakistan doesn't have any money. We've been talking for the past couple of years, all the different loans that they've been taking out from China, from the IMF, from all kinds of people. So where are they getting the money to procure these weapons? I have no idea. Are they going to give China an IOU? And how many IOUs is China going to take for these people? So once again, Pakistan asking China for weapons because of this conflict with the Taliban. And folks, not only are they asking that, they're asking China for the following. And take a look at this. Why is Pakistan asking China for a second strike capability? Now, for you folks that don't know, second strike capability means that they have the authority to send a nuclear weapon if someone was to devastate their country. That's what the hell second strike capability means. So they're asking China if they could potentially use nukes. Now, this is what makes this very interesting. All right. Pakistan is a nuclear power. Now, in this article, they try to claim that it was China that gave them their nuclear power. I can tell you right now that is not the case. There was a scientist by the name of A.Q. Khan that actually developed the nuclear capability for Pakistan. And once he gave Pakistan the nuclear capability, he actually tried to go around the world to sell it to the highest bidder. Now, consequently, the CIA made sure to eliminate Mr. A.Q. Khan to prevent that. But this is why Pakistan has nuclear capabilities. Now, the fact that they're asking China for a second strike capability suggests that the Taliban, with the weapons that we have left them in their country, could potentially do an onslaught of an assault on Pakistan that could leave them devastated. Devastated to the equivalent of a nuclear disaster, which is why Pakistan is now asking for second strike capability. So, very interesting situation going on over there in Pakistan and with China. All right. So, we'll see what happens. Keep your eye once again on Pakistan and Afghanistan. But since we brought up China, let's talk a little bit about China here. Now, China came out, and this was right after Jimmy Carter's death. Xi came out and said that he was deeply saddened by dear friend Jimmy Carter's death. And in that statement, Xi said the following, all right? And this is an olive branch by China. Xi tells China-U.S. ties one of the most important in the world. So this is a signal that, hey, we want to come back to the negotiating table, but, we're death before dishonor, people. I've got to save face, so we got to figure this out. So as I stated, China needs the United States. The whole reason China's economic situation is in peril is because of the tariffs that Trump initiated in his administration and the doubling of those tariffs by Biden and his administration. And on top of the doubling down on tariffs by Biden, he started to slowly decouple manufacturing from China, which has resulted in an economic devastation to China. Because China's recognizing, as I've stated over and over again, they're trying to look for other people in the world that'll buy the amount of quantity of Chinese crap that the United States buys. And not too many people are down with that. Not too many people are ready to go buy massive amounts of Chinese crap at this point in time. So China knows that it has to have America to buy this garbage. No one's going to buy the amount of crap from China as the United States. So this is why you've got Xi Jinping coming out here and saying, hey, look, China-U.S. ties, one of the best in the world. Come on, man. Come on, man. All right. And by the way, let me ban some of these fucking trolls out of here. Get out of here. All right. Get out. Get out. Segadrome. You're half a tard anyway. All right. You talk like you got a lazy tongue. This goddamn show is above your pay grade, you stupid, dumb, fucking retarded piece of shit. Get out. Sorry, folks. I have to deal with these trolls. That's the unfortunate part about it. All right. I know this is a very serious show, and I do the Ghost Show, which appeases these feeble-minded, simplistic, autistic cases, which probably helps their parents keep their asses out of their hair. And occasionally, they piss me off because I don't want these people on the show. All right? That's why I do the Ghost Show, so that those tards can hang out over there and not hang out over here. But instead, they hang out over here like I don't know, I'm supposed to fucking put up with them? Get out! All right? Go watch your stupid imported pre-teenage Japanese fucking anime bullshit. Stupid morons. I'm not joking around. I'm not taking anything from you pieces of shit on this show. All right? Get out! Fucking stupid autist. Anyway, with that being said, China not only does China have a economic problem, put the PC shot on, China has a population problem, all right? A population problem. Take a look at this. China's plans to tackle population crisis in 2025. Now, what they plan on doing is subsidizing anybody who has a child now. Oh, look at how well that's done for America. The only people that are fucking having children in subsidized America are Shaniqua with the long fingernails, all right? Or some fucking dumbass piece of trailer trash shitting out 6 kids in a fucking single wide somewhere. All right? That's what is promoting when you have government intervention on trying to promote having children. That's what they're going to do. They claim that they're going to make it a lot easier for young people with child care. We're going to make it a lot easier for young people for food so that nobody goes hungry. I mean, this is how they're going to plan to try to create new Chinese people. Why don't you first, all right, government of China, recognize that it was your one-child policy that caused all this shit? You people thought you could be social engineers. And you know what they did during the one-child policy? They forcefully made sure that there were 4 to 5 Chinese men for every 1 Chinese woman. And then they wonder why there's a problem? Give me a fucking break. Give me a break. There's a population problem in China. You idiots that are like, no, they don't have a problem. They got 1 billion people. Why don't you take a look at the demographics? Wolf 336 at D Live, you stupid know-nothing having fucking piece of shit. Most of the fucking demographic of China are a bunch of old pricks. The young people are only a small, limited amount of people because of the one-child policy. You know-nothing, uneducated piece of shit. You're probably a fucking Trump supporter, too, and thought that Trump was going to make America white again. What an idiot. What an idiot. Anyway, as I was stating, all right, this is going to definitely hurt China, all right? And 5-finger prostate punch, kids cost money, China has no money. Well, that's part of the initiative. They're going to subsidize anybody who has a child. All right? And moreover, Xi Jinping has been an incompetent head of state for China. He's been such an incompetent head of state for China that he's purged a bunch of people. I mean, he purged the foreign minister early last year. He purged the defense minister last year because of that whole water and rocket situation that we talked about on the last broadcast. He's done a lot of bad shit to the country. I just talked about on the last broadcast that there's a lot of mass killings going on. Mass stabbings, using vehicles to run down people. They just executed some guy the other day that killed 38 people running him down in a car in China. So he's having a lot of opposition, a lot of blowback to his very, very incompetent policies. So what is Xi Jinping doing to assist with that? We'll take a look at this. China is building more prisons for Xi Jinping's political enemies. Well, you can only build so many prisons for 1 billion people, right? I mean, you can't jail them all. I mean, at some point there, Xi Jinping, you got to recognize that it was your fucking stupid, fucking Mao Zedong-inspired policies that has turned China into the pissing hole that it is. But, of course, most Chinese, they don't want to admit they're wrong. It's this whole death before dishonor crap. And as a result, Xi Jinping is going to do whatever it takes to stay in power. And if that includes purging people, if that includes putting people in jail, he's going to do it. And hold on, five-finger prostate punch with a rumble rant, because dealing with drunk retards day in, day out isn't good a career path to go to get a trade. I don't know what that means. And Kits doesn't flip. Should I get a job at a gay bar? I hear they make good money. Well, if you look good, I guess you can. If you don't, maybe not. You know, I mean, the gay community is very vain. All right? For all you incels that are out there that think, oh, I can't get a woman. Women are vain. Try being a homosexual. All right? Try being a homosexual. They're more vain than women. I mean, women, to be honest with you, I mean, they have, I don't want to go into the subject, but they have a tolerance for ugly people. You know, because I think most guys look disgusting. I think they're disgusting. They don't shower much. You know, they got disgusting facial hair that looks like pubes. You know, you know what I mean? You could smell them. I mean, they're fucking disgusting. You could just tell, right? And women, they'll go out and they'll date some of these ugly fucking pieces of grotesque shit. Not homosexuals, man. Homosexuals, you have to be visually appealing, and if you're not, you're going to be out on your own, all right? You're going to be out on your own. Anyway, once again, Xi Jinping using the prison system to jail his political enemies, all right? And I'm not going to, hey, Mega Max, I'm not going to forget your videos, dude. I'm not going to forget your videos. Don't worry about it. Cheers to you. We was peanuts and shit, all right? And Duke Orville, woman tolerance equals how fat your wallet is. No shit. No shit. Now, look, another thing that Xi Jinping, I think, is starting to do, now, he did this during COVID. Remember the lockdowns during COVID? I mean, they would lock people in place if there was somebody who tested positive in China for COVID. It doesn't matter where you were at. If you were in an office building, if you were in Disney World, it doesn't matter. They kept you in there sequestered indefinitely. Well, folks, take a look at what's happening in China right now. And if you don't think that Xi Jinping has anything to do with this, you don't know your ass from your elbow. Take a look at this. It looks like we're having another pandemic. Take a look at this. Hospitals in China overwhelmed as severe flu outbreak, including influenza A and HMPV, resembling 2020 COVID surge. Hospitals in China are overwhelmed as outbreaks of influenza A and human metapneumovirus resemble COVID-19 surge of 3 years ago. Take a look at the Chinese hospitals. Take a look at this. Take a look at that. Didn't I tell you that we were going to see another pandemic once Trump was elected? Didn't I say that? All right, that's China. All right, these are the scenes out of China here. Looks like they're going to implement the zero COVID policy once again in China, which is beyond totalitarian. All right, here we go. Here they are. Oh my God, what the hell? And people think communism is a great thing. Take a look at that shit. All right, so Xi Jinping, in my personal opinion, is utilizing COVID, the zero COVID policy once again, in order to keep people suppressed. All right? And look, it's not just in China either, folks. Take a look at this. Put the PC shot on. Flu and walking pneumonia infections overwhelm hospitals in India, pushing patients to the ICU. Influenza has been widespread in Tamil Nadu since August, but a spike of mycoplasma pneumoniae is sending more patients who would normally have mild cases to the ICU. So I'm telling you right now, folks, here we go again with the pandemic. Didn't I tell you? I told you all that Trump being elected, we were going to have another pandemic again. And why? Because Trump is the only leader in world history to shut down an entire country, to shut down entire put people on house arrest, shut down private businesses, unless the ones that donated to his campaign. All right, Trump set this precedent. And people, especially the ones that are in power, know that everybody is enamored with Trump, and Trump could potentially do this once again. All right, Trump's going to potentially do this once again, and many of you will do it, even though you blame everybody else for the pandemic, you blame everybody else for the vax, even though it happened during his fucking tenure. And Five Finger Prostate Punch said 8 new vaccines produced in 5 weeks, plus 23 boosters inbound. Yeah, no shit. No shit. So here we go again. I told you the day after Trump got elected, I told you, I said, be prepared for another pandemic. Be prepared for another pandemic. And lo and behold, here we go. Now, here we go. Isn't that great? That's just great. Jesus Christ. Like, we really want to go through this again. I don't want to go through this stupid shit again. All right? I mean, that was a horrible episode in world gullibility that I don't really want to partake in once again. All right? Anyway, since we're on the subject of health, we were talking about how Israel is continuing its offensive on Syria, in Yemen, and in parts of Palestine. Now, Netanyahu still is, kind of being pursued by corruption charges in his homeland of Israel. And a lot of these corruption charges have teeth, and he knows it. I mean, the whole reason why, in my opinion, the October 7th attack happened on Israel was because the Mossad let it happen, or coordinated it to happen, to prevent Benjamin Netanyahu from being prosecuted by the justice system. But now that, the war is kind of, I wouldn't say faded, but it looks like the victors are going to be Israel. Now you've got the justice system in Israel trying to prosecute Benjamin Netanyahu once again for corruption. Now, what did Benjamin Netanyahu do? Take a look at this. Netanyahu goes under prostate removal operation. Court testimony delayed. Oh, that's the way to get out of testimony. Give me a fucking break. I mean, that's why I'm telling each and every one of you that Benjamin Netanyahu did this offensive. Now, to save his own hide domestically, but in actuality, folks, he has helped the United States tremendously. He has taken out many of the folks that we have been opposition to in the Middle East and took them out like that. Hezbollah's Nasrallah, dead. All right, the Hamas leadership, dead. All right, Bashar al-Assad, he's exiled, and, no longer Bashar al-Assad ruling Syria. I mean, the next group is the Houthis in Yemen. And as I stated, Israel is our terrorist satellite. I hate when people say, Israel owns us. They're our terrorist satellite. They're doing our dirty work. We should be giving them a salute, all right, for doing shit for us without us putting any kind of boots on the ground. Any kind of boots on the ground. But once again, Netanyahu still has to, go through his corruption charges over there in Israel and using medical reasons to prevent him from actually testifying in any of these investigations. Very, very interesting what we have here. And last but not least, folks, this East German situation. Let's go to Germany. Now, I told you all that what happened in Ukraine prior to the revolution, which is Russians taking over the parliament politically, is what caused the revolution in Ukraine. And I said on the last show the same thing is happening in Germany, and that the contingent that's throwing the German government into a snap election that's going to happen on February, I believe, 19th, is this East German contingent of people. This East German contingent, it's this political bloc that many within Germany call Nazi-ish, even though it's led by some dyke. But it's supposed to be like a Nazi-ish base type of political party. Now, in my opinion, folks, it is not Nazi-ish. I think what Germany should be concerned with is that Eastern European political party, or Eastern German political party, is actually backed up by Russia. It's backed up by Russia. It's funded by Russia. And guess what? Elon Musk backs the fucking the party in Eastern Germany, which is pro-Russia. And then we wonder why that ex-general did that op-ed in the New York Times saying that this guy is a fucking national security risk. Huh? It all comes clear now at this point in time, and he's causing major controversy, old Elon Musk. I mean, Germans are trying to say that he's trying to influence its election by supporting that Eastern German pro-Russia, Russia-funded political party. So, folks, I'm telling you right now, man, I don't know what Russia has on all these people. I don't understand why everybody on the right, it seems like, has some fucking affinity for Russia, has a hard-on for Russia. I remember when the Republican Party exposed the Russian communists back in the 50s and 60s, for Christ's sake. The McCarthys, the Richard Nixons, and now we have come full circle. We have come full circle, for Christ's sake, and now the Republicans are now the Russian simps. Now the Republicans are sucking Putin's pud and shit. Oh, God. I warned the Germans, do not vote this goddamn pro-Russian contingent in the German government. You will rue the day. You will absolutely rue the day. And if you don't believe me, why don't you talk to any of these MAGA people who thought that they were voting for MAGA because they were going to make America white again or great again. They were going to kick out the illegals or whatever the hell they thought. All right? Whatever the hell they thought. Why don't you ask them? As a matter of fact, let's take a look at what some of them had to say. All right? Because I actually tweeted a poll here recently showing who people would rather have in the country. And my, had the tables have turned. Take a look at this. Okay, let's settle this. Who would you rather have in America? Illegal Mexicans or legal Indians? And take a look at that. Take a look at that. Oh. And you know what made this possible? Elon Musk. Elon Musk. But you know what? Your boy Trump is down with Elon Musk. He's down with H-1B. So you just got your rug pulled. And that's why I'm telling each and every one of you that do not agree with this H-1B visa shit, that feel like you got rug pulled by MAGA, by Trump, by Elon Musk, call your congressman and tell them not to vote for any rhino as the House Speaker. Tell them not to vote for Mike Johnson as House Speaker. Call the Freedom Caucus and tell them to hold the line and not vote for anybody for House Speaker, so there's nobody to certify the election on January 20th. So we'd have no choice but to bring in old man Chuck Grassley to become the president as a holding pattern until America comes to its fucking senses, man. Jesus Christ. And Five Finger Prostate Punch said, hey, you know what you haven't heard, Ghost? Will you service my schmeckle? Okay, great. Thanks a lot. But anyway, take a look at this poll. Have the tables have turned. I mean, prior to this H-1B visa revelation, everybody wanted the illegal Mexicans out of here. And I told you right as Trump was elected, we're going to be trading hardworking, Catholic, family-oriented, illegal immigrants who work hard, who have no problem working hard labor for whatever pay. We're going to exchange them for Indians that are going to take 5- and 6-figure tech jobs down to 5-figure tech jobs. That's great. Anyway, Caller for Twinks hooked it up with a buy me a coffee and said, Daddy, keep going. Each one of your prognostic... I'm not saying that, you sick son of a bitch, all right? I'm not saying that. Anyway, I think that's my cue to get the hell out of here, all right? Let's go ahead and go and let's do some totally useless news for folks, all right? All right, totally useless news. And this should pertain to each and every one of you that are listening to this broadcast, because this probably encompasses about 80% of you. Take a look at this. Why brain rot and bed rotting aren't all bad. What? And the reason why Gen Z and millennials are so drawn to this form of escape. Now, for all those that don't know, rotting is you just staying in your bed all day, watching your fucking phone of nothing but brain rot crap. And that's what many of these Gen Zer and millennials are doing at this point in time. Now, going back to Elon and Vivek Ramaswamy and the H-1B visa debate, I'll be honest with you, this is why they need H-1B visa, people, all right? Because most Americans are entitled idiots who believe that they deserve a certain pay grade, who believe they deserve a certain position, even though they haven't done shit, even though they have no experience. And this is a consequence of the success of America. You know?
I'd buy that for $1.
And can of sauce, can somebody get this little... Dude, shut up, all right? Shut your stupid stinking salmon smelling hole. Anyway, once again, folks, all right, this is why you have Elon Musk, now Donald Trump, Vivek Ramaswamy making the case for H-1B visas, because this encompasses most of the youth of America, millennial and Gen Zers. They don't want to do anything. All right? I mean, we have the worst work ethic in American history between the millennials and Gen Zers. Many of these folks believe that they deserve a certain wage even though they have no fucking experience whatsoever. Many of these millennials believe because they went and put themselves $50,000 in debt in a college degree that they believe they should be running some Fortune 500 company. All right? This is why we're in the position we're in. This is why I keep telling you, all right? There's no fixing this. The people that like rotting, the people that are sitting there fanning their nuts and watching anime and obsessing over child's toys, and, you know, the reason we have people that are fucking immature and man children is because of the success of our country. You know, I hear a lot of folks that are in opposition to the H-1B visa and in opposition to immigration. A lot of these folks that are very vocal, believe it or not, don't do shit. Most of them live with their mother or father. Most of them don't even have their own place. Most of them don't even have a career. Most of them aren't even fucking working. You know, how the hell did these fucking Indians become so influential to begin with? Because they worked hard. You know that Indians right now are less than 1% of the population of America. They're less than 1% of the population of America, and do you know that they're 6% of the gross domestic product in this country? And that's because Indians are in control. They're the CEOs of the major corporations. They're in charge of Google. They're in charge of IBM. All right, they're in charge of, look at how many Indian CEOs there are. And that's why they're less than 1% of the population, yet 6% of the GDP. This is why all you stupid mouth-breathing, chattering class social media posters that were all MAGA up into this point are finally realizing that you're being replaced. And I told you, whether you vote for fucking Trump or whoever the fuck you vote for, nothing is going to get done about this immigration issue. All right? If we go and deport more than 50% of the immigrants that are in this country, we would cause an economic collapse that we couldn't even imagine. We couldn't even imagine. So, in my opinion, the whole reason why we're seeing immigration being embraced by both parties is because of your lazy American entitled asses. And all you got to do is take a look on social media, the people that are the most vocal against H-1B, that are the most vocal against immigration, and take a look at their profile picture and see if there isn't some fucking anime, Japanese cartoon, if they're not playing with toys, if they're not some fucking man-child. All right? So this is why there's no fixing this shit. There's no fixing a bunch of Gen Z and millennials that want to rot in their room and just sit in their bed and not fucking bathe for a month. I mean, there's no changing this. There's no changing this. The only way you can remedy the situation that we have in America is to replace these fucking American people. And for all you people that are saying, oh, you're an asshole, Ghost, you're anti-American, you're anti-American. You're anti-American because 53% of the American public, believe it or not, 53% of the American public collects an entitlement. And why the fuck should we, the American taxpayer, continuously pay tax money to sustain a useless eater like yourself, as opposed to these Indians that you people hate so much that are contributing not only to the innovation of technology, but also contributing to the tax system? Why the fuck should they and all of us that are productive take care of you pieces of shit? I mean, with all due respect, all right, 53% of American people collect an entitlement. And it's not anti-white. I don't give a shit what color you are. If you're a second and third generation American, 53% of you are a fucking burden on this country. All right? You're a fucking burden. All right? You fucking collect off the government dole and you think that you're entitled to it. You think you're entitled to it when you ain't entitled to shit. So, you all can cope all you want to, all right? But I'm glad that Elon Musk has come out and has redirected the mental capacity of Donald Trump into the direction of allowing immigrants into this country. Because none of you fucking idiots are innovating a goddamn thing. You know, the argument that I hear, especially during this whole debate about H-1B visas, is that supposedly white engineers are being overlooked as opposed to Indian engineers. And I think that's a bunch of crap, okay? And let's just say that was the case. Let's just say that was the case. Why aren't any of you, quote, white engineers taking the initiative and trying to create your own fucking product, or trying to create your own company, or trying to create your own innovation? You want to know why? Because you don't want to. You have no innovation. You've been pussy pampered and coddled. All you fuckers want to do is clock in, clock out, and then go to AnimeCon and cosplay as some fucking teenage fucking little girl. All right? That's what you fucking idiots want to do. And you see, these fucking Indians and these immigrants that come into this country, they work 80 hours a week. They eat a bowl of rice a day. They live in a fucking efficiency apartment with 10 of them in there and save their fucking money in order for them to become influential in this country. You people have the opportunity as soon as you're born into this country, and y'all refuse to do it. All right? You refuse to do it. And you see, every time I've tried to make this a point, I've been doing this show for 18 years. Every time I try to make a point at this, every one of you millennial and Gen Zers, all you do is talk about, oh, it's the boomers. You boomers, you fucked it up for us. Even though all of you fucking millennials and Gen Zers are fat in the fucking ass. Even though every one of you Gen Zers had such a great childhood, you can't leave it in the past. But no, it's the fucking boomers' fault. It's the boomers' fault that you people are a bunch of losers. Let me tell you something. Fuck you, all right? And look, I'm not saying everybody in America is a piece of trash, all right? I'm just saying 53% of you are, because 53% of you collect a government entitlement. I've never collected a goddamn government entitlement, ever. And dude, I've been in some bad situations. I've been in situations where, hell, I could use that, but I'm not going to. Because why? I'm not a dread on society. I live in America. I could figure it out. You people that aren't figuring it out, you're just fucking lazy. You're lazy pieces of shit. You'd rather play your fucking video game. You'd rather cosplay in a goddamn Comic-Con. You'd rather fucking watch anime than do something with your fucking pathetic, immature life. So am I surprised that we got Gen Z and millennials rotting in their fucking parents' room? No, I'm not. And for all you people that are pissed off that, oh, you hate America. No, I love America. The American people, not too good anymore. The American people, they think they deserve a living even though they don't do shit. They think they deserve clothing, housing, and food even though they do nothing to obtain it. They think that they should be just accorded a living just for being shitted out of some bitch's uterus hole. So give me a break. Anyway, Anubis, 6 times their worth certainly sounds better than black people, especially when they have 150 a year head start than Indians. Well, that's your... I didn't say that. Anubis said that on a Rumble rant. And Belligerent Brian, you want to replace Americans? You're saying that quite out loud, Globaler. Look, I'm trying to say that we need to replace Americans to save America. All right? Because right now, 53% of native-born Americans are a dread on society. All right? They're a fucking drag on society, and they refuse to work. They have welfare carols now. Wake up, it's the first of the month. And that needs to stop. All right? I mean, that's enough. And I hope, and I've said this, I've not been fucking quiet about this. I've been very vocal about this for a couple of years already. I hope that the immigrants that love this country, that love the opportunity, that make something of themselves in this country, I hope they become so influential that they start having the debate on whether or not they should continue to pay taxes in order to continue to maintain the sustenance of useless American people. And I'm talking the 53% that collect entitlements. So I'll be honest with you. I think we need to get rid of entitlements. I'm all for cutting. But we got to roll it back. We can't just cut the PO in America. These people will become a threat to national security if we do that. So that's why we got to have this slow transition. The slow transition of bringing in folks into the country that are going to make this country better, that are going to innovate for this country, that are going to pay taxes to this country. And those that are just going to be dreads on society, we got to, I don't know what we're going to do with these people, but there's just too many of them. And that's why we need to replace them. We need to replace these fucking useless people who, they have such an attitude. Look at these people in the chat rooms. Look at these people in the chat rooms talking shit. Hey, if you're working hard and you're making money as an American capitalist, you wouldn't be getting upset at what I'm saying. All right? If you're a capitalist making fucking money as an American, you would not be getting upset at what I'm saying. The people that are getting upset are the fucking losers that contribute absolutely nothing to society whatsoever. So keep seething, you fucking losers. Anyway, someone hooked it up and said, yo, Ghost, what's up, man? Hey, y'all, if y'all need to work, try looking into working as a non-CDL truck driver and a warehouse work, as they are literally begging for people to work for them. I'm not going to lie, Latino women are hot, and I'd let them slash my tires any day, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. But look, I appreciate you giving a heads up to the folks that are here, but these folks don't want to have hard labor. All right? That's why most of these millennial and Gen Zers enjoy rotting in bed, because they don't want to do work. They don't want to do fucking work. Anyway, Devious Dave Hater said Indian and Chinese people are Starship Trooper bugs. That's not true. And Five Finger Prostate Punch. So what about all the Mexicans that watch anime who immigrated to the United States? Well, I don't know. I haven't seen too many of those. But even if they do, I don't give a shit as long as they fucking put up my deck in my backyard. As long as they, lay down fucking tile on my fucking floor. All right, as long as they do my fucking lawn, I don't give a shit if they fucking sit on a fucking anime Funko Pop with a condom on it. All right? As long as they're fucking doing the job. I don't give a fuck. The problem with American anime lovers is that they're effeminate, fruity-ass motherfuckers that don't want to do shit from Shinola except get their thumbs bruised on video games or their ass pumped at fucking Comic Cons. Jesus Christ. Megamax, bro, you're lazy to make a ghost show when you said you'd... Listen, I'm not doing a ghost show. I'm not wasting my New Year's Eve with you fucking people. Are you kidding me? All right? I'm having a party. All right? I'm popping bottles of Dom P and shit. I'm not going to be fucking kicking it with you people on New Year's. All right? I'm having the ghosties on probably January 2nd. All right? I'm watching football. I'm fucking drinking Dom P. I'm fucking partying. I'm not fucking doing that shit. All right? You'll get the ghosties on January 2nd. Anyway, Pookie from 713, ain't nothing wrong with getting entitlements if we eligible. Yeah, get the hell out of here. And then Belligerent Brian, wait 40 years and see how that works out for you. Love from the UK. Well, Belligerent Brian, you idiot limeys let in wild Jehudis en masse into your goddamn country. And I don't know why you did that, all right? And then you allowed them to not integrate with your system. Instead, you allowed them to, I don't know, call to prayer 6 times a day in the middle of a fucking McDonald's or some shit and allowed that to happen. Look, I think we need immigration in this country, but I do believe that everybody who's in this country needs to assimilate. Everybody in this country should speak English. All right? If you come to this country, you're not going to wear a fucking turban on your fucking head. All right? All right? Wear that shit in your fucking mosque or in your chic house or wherever the fuck. All right? This is a separation between church and state in this country. And so what? You belong to some minority group religion. Practice in your own fucking house or in your own house of worship. All right? So look, I'm very American. I think that we should pass a law that English is the first language of this country. I think we should pass a law that anybody who comes into this country understands to separate church and state. I think we need to pass a law to understand that anybody who's going to be a fucking member of this country needs to appreciate the Constitution, and there should be a law, all right, that there's no influence of outside countries trying to influence our culture, all right? I mean, American culture is a hodgepodge of cultures. All right, we're not supposed to bow down because, oh, look, this Muslim wants to get on their knees on a magic carpet in the middle of KFC to face Mecca and, fucking, do this fucking, Wallahu Akbar. We're not doing that shit. All right, we're not doing that shit. So that's why, that's where I draw the line. I don't mind immigrants coming in. I don't mind immigrants being productive in this country. I don't mind people that are immigrants coming in and working in this country. But by God, you better learn English, and you better oblige the American way of life. And if not, then get the fuck out of here. Get out! Hey, wait a minute. 5-finger prostate punch. Come spend New Year's with your true family and do a ghost show. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not, but I will do one probably either Thursday or Friday. Let me know what the best day to do a ghost show is. Thursday or Friday, all right? Anyway, folks, I'm going to get the hell out of here. That was the, extent of the totally useless news. I would like to ask everybody to please follow me on X or Twitter. All right, that's my social media of choice. It's the only product that I really like that is owned by Elon Musk, even though he didn't create it. Put the PC shot on. The Ghost Report, all one word, no underscores. The Ghost Report. And be sure to follow me on X or Twitter. Now, you folks that got blocked, I will unblock you. I don't care if you talk shit to me. I don't care if you post fucking, weird, AI at me. I don't give a shit. But do not spam the same fucking crap. I hate that shit, and I will absolutely fucking ban your ass. I will absolutely ban your ass because I am not going to sit here and continuously have the same shit spam. All right? Other people want to get their messages out, and you're spamming with the same shit. We ain't doing that shit. And what is this? Pookie from 713, type D to Dodge. All right, great. Anyway, folks, if you haven't done so already, all right, go to buymeacoffee.com/GhostPolitics. And when you do, be sure to check out and becoming a member of the True Capitalist Radio chat room. Put the PC shot on. Here it is right here. Buy me a coffee. Hook it up right now with Buy Me a Coffee with the True Capitalist Radio membership here. There are 2 tiers. And once again, I will be in this chat room here in about 30 minutes. All right? And by the way, can you ban everybody in fucking... ban everybody in goddamn Rumble. All right? Rumble is a serious chat. If you fucking trolls are going to troll there, get them all out of here. Get them all out. I don't give a shit who they are. Get them out. Get them all the fuck out of here. Get them out. All of them. Get them all out. Fucking piece of crap. Don't come back. Why don't you go and fuck off in one of these other chat rooms, you stupid pieces of fucking trolly shit. All right? I don't like you people. I wouldn't piss on your trolly ass if your fucking ass was on fire. All right? I fucking don't like you pricks. I would never be friends with you pricks. So fuck off. Jesus Christ. Anyway, as I was stating before I got rudely interrupted by a bunch of troll terrorists flapping their fat Dorito-stained fingers on the keyboard, consider becoming a True Capitalist Radio member chat member, all right? And hold on, wait a minute, Anubis. You act like Brian legally could have stopped the brown invasion. All right, look, I'm out. Take this shit out of here. I'm out of here, all right? I'm done. Oh, shit, wrong one. Look, this is the last True Capitalist Radio of the year. I want to say Happy New Year to everybody out there who's a listener. This January is going to be 18 years that I've been doing this broadcast. 18 fucking years. And I just want to say I'm going to keep going as long as I can go. I'm kind of old, you know, so we're going to keep on rolling as long as we can. And I just want to thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart for listening to the broadcast. Whether you donate, whether you not donate, whether you listen, whether you troll, I appreciate your patronage. Cheers to each and every one of you. And Happy New Year to you, your family, your friends. And make sure that you have a very safe New Year. Don't drink and drive because you might spill something. You know what I'm saying? And hold on. Hey, 5-finger prostate punch, we're sending them out after the new year. All right? Sending them out right after the new year. Anyway, I'm going to be in the True Capitalist Radio member chat, so if you want to come and chat with us, it is a serious chat room. So if you're a troll, don't even think about joining. All right? We talk about nothing but serious issues in there. I appreciate the folks in there. So if any of you trolls want to fucking join the Thunderdome, but I caution you, if you join the Thunderdome, join at your own risk. All right? Join at your own risk is all I got to say. But once again, there's no trolling, no drama, no internet blood sports, none of that in the True Capitalist Radio member chat. So consider becoming a member, all right? And by the way, we're going to be sending out the new card, all right? After the new year, I give a card a month to every member of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, a trading card, a TCR trading card. Ask anybody who's a member. They're actually really, really fucking cool. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in with me. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. I will be doing a ghost show later on in the week, probably Thursday or Friday. I will ask which is the better day for you on X or Twitter. So make sure to hook that up, all right? Anyway, folks, thank you for tuning in with me. Until next time, have a happy new year and make sure to be safe, baby, all right? Anyway, thank you, folks. I'm out of here.